Happy hump day. So sorry for being 5 minutes late as I was setting up and rushing back in here. So let's see how many eyeballs we have before I start talking. All right. Hi, Christine. Ooh, we have quite a few. You know what? Let me just move my screen a little bit so I can see everybody on Instagram. Okay. So thank you for being patient with me. I was dropping Marshmallow off my dog at day camp, and then I was running low on gas, so I have to put on some gas. So for those of you who's joining me the very first time, my name is May Yo Silvers. I am the owner of M2 Hospitality, an event planning company, and also the event founder, mentor, and coach for events for anyone, where we provide a mentorship program called the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur to event planners like you all, to start and grow the event planning company into a multiple six-figure business as well. So today, okay, I have a lot of people joining me on Instagram. So this is, I keep scrolling. Hi, Sharon. Hi. Hi, Desha. So many of you. So listen, if I don't call out your name, not because I didn't see you, I do see you, but because I have quite a lot to cover and I have a hard stop at 12:30 to coach inside my mentorship group. So I want to get in as many information as possible. So you must be wondering, right, that I'm an event planner. Why am I talking about venues? Why am I talking about event venues? So for those of you who's joining me on Facebook, make sure you click the link for StreamYard to publish your name so I can see your name. Okay, I see all these Facebook users. Okay, so you must be wondering, I'm an event planner. Why am I talking about venues? Why am I talking about event venues? The reason why I'm talking about event venues is because I've seen so many of you, when you share with me your challenges, what is stopping you to start your events business is you don't have a venue. You feel that you need to have a venue in order to start your business. So if you meant you need to have a venue, and you're not meaning that you need to have an office space, because as an event planner, you don't need to have an office space. I work out from my home. This is my kitchen table, my kitchen island. I work out upstairs, sometimes in my bedroom, sometimes in the pool. So I work out anywhere. So it doesn't matter that you don't have an office. You don't need an office. But if you are thinking that you don't have a venue, like an event space, and you can't start your event planning business, I'm going to go through what it means to own a venue, and why do you want to have a venue, and what does it take to own a venue, okay? And why am I qualified to talk about this when I'm not a venue owner? When I was in the hotel industry, I have opened 4 hotels, okay? And my job as a director of catering and conference services is to identify the event space that we're going to sell. And then once I identify the event space, I have to put together a marketing plan on how to market the venue. I also have to put together a pricing plan, okay? How to charge for that venue so that we are making money. And as the director of catering and conference services, I hold as much as 50% responsibility for the profitability of the hotel I was working for. So in order for me to be able to make money for the venue, I got to know what I'm doing, right? And with that, I transfer the skills into my own business. And that makes me realize that I never want to own a venue, number one. And number two, if you do want to own a venue, what you need to know. I have clients inside my mentorship program, the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur, who started off as an event planner, event designer. Eventually, she wanted to own her own venue, and she did. So I was coaching her the whole process behind the scene, what you need to do to own a venue and to market the venue. And now the venue has been featured on TVs, on publications. So she's doing a great job, okay? And not because of what my coaching, but also because of she took actions and she is constantly marketing herself and the venue. So today I'm going to talk about, okay, I see so many hello May. Hi, I can, my Facebook users, I can't see your name unless you click the link, okay? So hey Jackie, thank you for joining me. So I didn't create an event under LinkedIn because this is more of a event venue topic. So I don't have many event venue followers inside LinkedIn. So I want to make it generic. So if you happen to catch this video, great. So, all right. So what does it mean to own a venue? Okay. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, hi, Shakira. You have to ask yourself, why do you want to own a venue? What's the purpose of owning a venue? A lot of times, it comes down to ego. Okay. Because it's just like I ask people, why do you want to own a restaurant? My background is also restaurant management, and it takes a lot to own a restaurant. So when I ask this question, why do you want to own a venue? Instead of you being able to have the option to use different types of venues for your events, why do you want to own a venue? That means your preference is to only have to sell your venue first. So what does it mean to own a venue? A lot of them says that, oh, because I want to be able to have a space to work out at, okay, to work my business. Invalid excuse, okay? Invalid reason. You don't need to own a venue in order to find an office space, all right? Or you say that, oh, I want to have a space to showcase, to do the setup and showcase my work. No, you don't need to own a venue to do that. You go to your vendor, okay? You go to a vendor who is a venue owner or an event production company who's putting the decor elements for you, and you go to their office and you invite your clients to go over there where they do the mock setup, all right? Okay. The third reason they give to me is, oh, I want to own a venue because I want to be able to host events there and have other people use my venue to have events. Okay, that's a valid reason. Okay, that's a valid reason why you want to own a venue. You want to be able to host your own events there, and you want to be able to attract people to use your venue to host their own events. Okay, so before we go into why it's so good, so nice to own your own venue, let's talk about what is the financials involved to own a venue. What does it mean to own a venue? How much does it take to own a venue? Okay, my suggestion for you is do not, if you can, do not buy or do not own a venue that you have to build from scratch. Okay, I've done 4 hotel openings there, and they're all built from the ground up. Actually, no, 3 of them are built from the ground up, and 1 is an existing venue already. So if you have to own a venue, or if you want to own a venue that you're able to say that build it to your taste, just know that there's pros and cons. The pros is you can build it to your taste, to your configuration, to what you really want. The con is there are so much legal paperwork involved. You have to get your permit, okay, which is your occupancy permit, okay. Occupancy permit means that you will have someone from the governing body. A lot of times is a fire marshal permit, the fire department. They will come around and they will look at the capacity. Okay, the building permit. Okay, the building permit. First and foremost, can they even build a venue? Is this zone for venue? Okay, is this area zone for venue? So let's just assume that you have done your due diligence. Okay, you have found a venue, a plot of land, and you have checked with the government bodies if this area. So you have to go to your building governing body. Okay, I don't know exactly what it's called, but you have to go to your city hall, find out whether is there a zoning department. If that area that you want to buy that piece of land, okay, and you want to build a venue space, you have to ask whether is it zoned for that. Because some areas are not zoned for events because of the residential areas around it, okay? Or because of certain business around it that will not allow you to have a mass gathering of people. So you have to find out whether it's a piece of land zoned for event space that you can host events. So once you get that done, then you have to get the financials, right? We have to find out about the mortgage and the interest. Okay, so your upfront cost is going to be your mortgage. Okay, you got to get a loan unless you have the money. Okay, so you have to have a mortgage fee and also your interest in paying the mortgage as well. So you pay a mortgage plus an interest. Okay, so you're going to calculate that cost, and then you have to take into consideration you need to get all your permits right, the occupancy permit. So if the occupancy permit is not governed by you, it's governed by a governing body who's going to come in and see your space, and same thing, the fire marshal, okay, from the fire department is going to come in and walk the space and make sure that you have all your exit sign. Okay, that's going to be an ingress and egress. Is there a way for people to come in and get out? How many ways are there for people to come in and get out? Do you have anything that is blocking the entrance for people getting in and going out? Okay, that's what the fire marshal will be coming in. They will be testing your fire alarm. So all these will delay your opening date. So if you want to have an opening date, let's say January 1st, put 6 months buffer, okay? Because the building permits, there's a lot of permits that needs to be assessed. Sometimes there's a delay. And then if you're building from scratch, you've got to have an architectural plan. They have to make sure that whatever you want to build inside is sound. So they have to do all your footings. They have to see whether your ceiling can support certain weight. Your pillar can support certain weight. Okay? So you have to get an architect and an engineer to come in and walk the space. Okay? And because you're a venue, you're going to have bathrooms. So they will have to calculate how many bathrooms you need based on the number of people that you have. That is a regulation for that. I can't tell you exactly what is that because I didn't build the venue. I was in charge of selling the venue, but I do know what it takes to get it open. So, and then the fire marshal will come in, walk the space, check your exit sign, all right? And then if you're serving food, the food safety inspector will come in as well and have to make sure that your kitchen is up to par. You've got to have a safe serve certification. If you're serving alcohol, you've got to have the TIPS certification, TIPS. So all these things are money. All these things takes time. And all the employees that you hire have to go through all this training. Okay? And you wonder why sometimes a venue doesn't want to serve food or beverage. Okay? So let's talk about the permitting first. So you got to have all these permits done, right? The occupancy permit, and then the fire marshal will come in to check your alarm to make sure that it works. And there's going to be several testing going on. And sometimes they don't even tell you. They will show up and they will do a test. They will do a test random. And if you don't pass the test, your opening date just got delayed. Okay, just got delayed. And then once hallelujah, you get all your permits done, right? Okay, so now we got to sell the venue, correct? So let's talk about the cost before we talk about selling the venue. Let's talk about the variable cost and the fixed cost of owning the venue. So when you have the variable costs are things like labor, okay? Labor. How many do you want to have someone who is permanently there to show the space? Okay, do you want to have a salesperson to sell the space? Do you want to have an event coordinator to facilitate the event? Okay, so labor is one. And the fixed costs are standard. Your interest fee, your mortgage, your utility, okay? Your utility, what else? And all your insurance, okay? Your business insurance. So standard, these four things, that's your fixed cost. There's more, but these four you need to know, okay? Plus, of course, the cost of operating your business, your website, your business license, correct? Your CRM, and if you have a salary employee that is fixed, that goes in there as well. Then the variable cost is if you're deciding to, if this building is yours, your electricity we normally calculate as a fixed cost. But if let's say you decide to only open 5 days and close 2 days, you know the cost for the 5 days. But if you're opening for those 2 days for special events, then you need to add on those 2 days as a variable cost, okay? Because they're not your fixed cost. So your fixed cost is those 5 days, but your variable cost is those extra 2 days that you're doing special events for, right? And then there's also additional staff involved, okay? That's your variable cost, okay? Again, there's a lot more, But this is a standard thing. It all depends on how you want to operate your venue. Are you going to operate a venue that has got nothing, just a blank space? If you are going to have inventory, okay, you say that you want to be a one-stop shop. So you want to have inventory. That means you want to have tables and chairs, standard tables and chairs and linen, okay? So those are also your costs. They are your assets, but they are also your liabilities. So you need to add that in, right? You need to add in monthly cost of maintenance of all that, all right? So those goes up, right? I mean, there is a monthly maintenance cost, which is a fixed cost, and then there's also a variable cost, how often you use it. Because the more you use it, the more you're going to pay in maintaining them, especially when you have the linen, correct? So I don't even want to go into kitchen, providing food and beverage, because it's a lot more complex. But if you just have the venue, tables and chairs and linen, these are the things that you need to think about, okay? So identifying your costs, all right? Identifying the labor. What is your operating hours? And the operating hours is going to determine how many staff you need, okay? If you're operating for 7 days, you need 2 staff because they need 2 days off, correct? And they work 8 hours a day. You need at least 2 to 3, depending on what are the hours you're opening. If you're opening more than 10 hours, for sure, you're going to need 2 staff, okay? So now you know how much it costs, okay, approximately, to own a venue. Then you have to think about, how do I market the venue, right? How do I market the venue? As a venue owner, how you market your venue is, number one thing, you're going to have very, very tight relationship with event planners, event designers, and vendors, okay? Every single person in the event field, you have to invite them to come and see your space. I don't care what profession they are, as long as they are in the event field. Photographer, baker, okay, photographer, baker, makeup artist, linen rental, furniture company, event production company, event planners, event designers, event decorators, all right? Destination management companies are huge because they bring a lot of business. So you want to be able to have relationship with them. You want to be able to at least, especially when you are, this is a brand new venue, you get to get your word out, okay? You'll be hosting a lot of mixers, networking event at least once a month with different groups of people, okay? With different groups of people. Got to have a really close relationship with the Chamber of Commerce so that they can list your venue as one of the venues that when people search, it shows up, okay? Got to have very close relationship with those networking groups, BNI, okay? Local CEO groups, local event planning groups, local event design groups, local small business groups, Chamber of Commerce, okay? So you want to be able to be the venue that they can come and host all these events. So more eyes on your venue, all right? That's how you got to first start marketing your venue. And then you want to be able to have as many event planners come on to do style shoots at your venue, okay? Event production, event rental companies, anyone in the event field who wants to come to your venue to showcase their work. Why? Because once they come and showcase their work at your venue, they're going to have to tag you, right? They have to tag you. And then when they tag you, people will be saying, this venue keeps coming up. What is it, right? You got to host your wedding shows. You got to host your quarterly wedding shows, wedding trade shows. You got to host your quarterly corporate shows, right? Like Beast Bash. So that you're attracting small businesses to come to your venue as well. You have to go out to small business around your area so that they can come over to your venue to do a brainstorming event, to host their admin luncheon, to host their employee events, to host training, to host CEO meetings, board meetings, all right? So you have to first identify what kind of business you want your event to be known for. All right, I have not known of an event venue who tells me that I only want to have this type of events happening at my space. Certain venue space is not suitable for certain types of events, that I understand. But majority of you should be able to cater to all types of events. And that also depends on what does the event look like inside. If it's like all bare walls, so it's a blank canvas, you know, certain people won't like it. Weddings may not like it. It's like, but this is so blank, I have to spend a lot of money to make it look pretty, right? So like a warehouse space, okay, those urban chic space, unless you are a bride that like that type of look, industrial look, then otherwise it may not work so well for weddings, but it will work very well for lifestyle events, lifestyle company, okay, for fashion shows, right? For companies that think outside the box. So in order to formulate your marketing strategy, you have to understand what do you want your space to be known for, okay? Then I gave you some tips, right, on how to market yourself, your venue. Then now let's talk about pricing. How should you price? How should you price your venue? So when you are, you know, like so far, let me just do a temperature check. Are you guys still with me? Is this information valuable for you to understand, to think through? If you tell me that eventually you want to own a venue, is this information valuable for you to understand what it really means to own a venue and how to market your venue? So just share with me in the chat. I'm just doing a temperature check. So now when it comes to pricing, okay, how should you price your venue? How should you price your venue? So as an event planner, okay, party planner, you go to venue and venue charge you a venue fee, right? Why is there a difference between a weekday fee and a weekend fee? Why is there a difference between a day event and a night event? Why? Because when you have a weekday and a weekend fee, weekdays are the days that you're quiet, unless you're known for businesses, okay? Your space is being known to host meetings. Then you're very busy during the weekdays and you're not busy over the weekends. So if you go to a corporate hotel, okay, corporate hotel that's not known to do social events, the weekday packages are a lot more expensive versus their weekend package because they're dead over the weekend. But if you go to a hotel that does a lot of weddings or a venue that does a lot of weddings and weekday they are dead, then their weekday rates are a lot cheaper, okay, compared to the weekend. So when you're pricing your package, okay, your venue fee, you have to understand where is my need period? Where is my fill period? FILL, okay? The easiest way to go about doing this is identify what is the peak season and non-peak season. Let's start from there, okay? Peak season, non-peak season. I'm in Miami. Summertime, we're dead because it's so hot. So hot, so we don't have many events happening. So venue space are all sitting empty. And we also have a hurricane, right? Nobody is willing to travel and take the risk in case there's a hurricane coming. So summertime is our low season. When is our peak season? Anytime after Thanksgiving, all the way until May. That's our peak season. And then there's shoulder season. So I'm giving you all this terminology, okay? High season, low season, shoulder season. High season is like peak period, where every single day, regardless whether weekday, weekend, is booked. Shoulder season is still busy, but not as busy. Low season is no business, okay? Where you get the best deal, okay? So high season, low season, peak season. So high season, low season, shoulder season. So identify in your area, if you have this venue in your area, what is your season for events? You have to identify that, okay? Once you identify, now we narrow down, okay, the seasons. We're going to narrow down to weekdays, weekends, okay? As I mentioned just now, that's a different rate for weekday events and weekend events. And weekend, a lot of times, is Fridays and Saturdays. Sunday is considered as weekday because a lot of weddings do not want to happen on a Sunday and a lot of corporate events do not want to start on a Sunday. So Sunday is considered like a low period, okay? So you have to identify that, all right? So this is, and then the next thing, you identify your day event and night event, okay? Day event and night event. So there's a question from a member. If you're mostly a wedding venue, would you recommend aiming for one event for the day and giving clients the additional setup time, or aiming for trying to book a morning event and less time given for evening events with setup? So how do you block event times? So event times, right? you block by meal periods. Good question, great question. You build by meal periods. That this is my jam. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is my lane. That's what I do day in, day out when I was a director of catering and conference services, figuring out what is the window. So from 6 o'clock, okay, 6 to 10. 6 to 10 is one meal period, breakfast, okay? And then you got to give 1 hour at least to turn the room. Next meal period is 12 to 3, lunchtime. So in reality, it's 11 to 3, okay? Lunchtime. That's another booking window. And then from 3 onwards, a lot of times 4 o'clock, we will say 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. to 11 to midnight is, or 4 to 10 or 4 to 11. That's dinner period. So you have 3 meal periods, and those 3 meal periods all will fluctuate. Their venue fee will fluctuate based on this meal period. So can Christine or Stephanie do me a favor? Can you post inside the paid members Facebook group and let everybody know that I'm 5 minutes late? Okay, I'm going to go in at 12:35. So they'll have those 3 meal periods. That's where you book. Okay, so if you're very busy over the weekend, you have to do a package, and you're a wedding venue, right? So you have to do a package on the weekdays. Okay, on the weekdays for weekday wedding. All right, weekday wedding, and the perks the perks that you can throw in. And the perks you can throw in when you do a weekday package, or what we call your low season or off-peak period. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether it's a wedding or a corporate venue. In general, when you are trying to fill your space, normally when it's empty, what are the perks you can incorporate? What are the perks you can incorporate to fill up those space when it's dead? All right, so you can create a package. And the perks you can give is lower venue rental fee, okay? Lower venue rental fee. And 20%, 30% cheaper than the regular venue rental fee on those busy season or busy periods. And if you're offering food and beverage at your venue, lower your food and beverage minimum, okay? Also expand, give more setup time, because if it's during your busy period, you can't give up too much of your setup time because you have another event right before you. So the turn time normally is 90 minutes. So if people want more than 90 minutes, that means they're eating into your second meal period, which is your lunchtime, which you can gain revenue. But if your dinner setup event is very extensive, they need more time. So they're going to eat into your lunch period. That is going to yield revenue if you have sold the space. But now you can't sell the space. So when you're charging that rental fee, okay, the setup fee, in order to give you more time to set up at night, you have to calculate what is the money that you're giving away, or the opportunity cost for not being able to build to sell that lunch period. And that is also many factors, right? How far away are you in terms of your what we call a free sale period? So normally what I'll do is, if I have a client who booked my space, okay, for dinner, and the dinner starts at 6 o'clock, but their setup is very extensive. They want to come in at 2 p.m. And their contract, I have them come in at 4 o'clock. I give them 2 hours to set up. They say, no, I need to come in at 2 o'clock. And this inquiry comes in, okay? This inquiry comes in for the dinner period, came in, I would say, a year to the actual date of the event. There is no way I would give them the 2 o'clock setup time. And I wouldn't even let them pay for the 2 o'clock setup time, because I have a big selling window to sell that lunch period. So I don't want to give up the revenue unless I'm charging a lot of money for that 2 o'clock setup time, that I know that I have revenue there. Now, it gets more complex if you're a hotel, because you have to consider, okay, it's not just selling the space to earn food and beverage revenue. I also have to consider, if I'm a hotel, that there are sleeping rooms involved. I'm also foregoing a group that has sleeping rooms. But now here, we're not talking about that. Now we're just purely talking about the venue, okay? Because none of you are running a hotel. So, but I have an advantage because I see both sides, okay? So you have to consider when did this inquiry come in, and are you willing to sell them that 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock space in order to close this business? Or you can tell them closer to date, okay? Closer to date, maybe a month out before the event. I will look at, if the space is still not taken, then I can give it to you at this rental fee, okay? So it gives you some buffer to sell that space, all right? It gives you some buffer to sell that space. So I hope this gives you some idea. How do you price? When you're pricing your package, okay, your venue fee, you have to take into consideration your cost, right? Your fixed cost and your variable cost. And then what is the profit that you want to make? Okay, what is the profit that you want to make for each month? And then you have to take into consideration what's the cost of running the venue, what's the profit that you want to make, and how often you think you'll be able to sell that venue, okay? What is the actual reality when it comes to selling that venue? And then you divide by the number of times that you think you'll be able to sell the venue. And that gives you the venue rental fee. So I'm not going to go in depth into this. I mean, like this is something that if it's a venue owner and they want more help, okay, and they want more help, then sure, I will coach one-on-one on this. Or if you evolve inside my mentorship program that you decide to own a venue, I'll coach you more on that. So, but this is just to give you an idea how to price. You're going to price based on peak season, low season, price based on weekday, weekend, price based on meal periods. Okay, you have to understand all that. So if you're just, like, it's a lot more into what I'm sharing, but this will give you a general idea. So if you're first starting your business, I would say that don't go right into owning a venue, because it's a lot of financial obligation. So let's try to pick the lowest fruit, okay? The lowest fruit is to do planning, decorating, designing. Build your relationship with vendors and venues. Understand how the events industry work. Give it a year or 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then decide whether is it your path to actually own a venue. Okay, so this gives you a general overview. Thank you, Joa. All right, so I got to go to another site, which is to coach my clients inside the mentorship program. I hope this gives you a general overview. I said that I want to do a special tribute today for those people who want to own a venue and those venue owners who's actually inside our program, inside our Facebook group. So I want to let you know that I see you, I see your concerns, I see your questions, and I want to highlight this, okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. So my paid members, see you inside Zoom. Bye.